Good evening. My name is Sundes Mohitrong, and I'm the Director of Orchestras here at Klein-Cain High School.
And my name is Katie Lindler, and I'm the Assistant Director of Orchestras. We would like to welcome you to our concert tonight. We're very happy to do our first in-person concert this year, and we also have students joining us from Zoom. Just a couple of reminders. Masks must be worn properly, covering the mouth and nose completely at all times on any Klein ISD campus. And please only sit in your reserved seats. The rows are spaced apart to ensure social distancing. We are also recording the performance and live streaming via Cain Live. Please be mindful of your electronic usage and please silence your cell phones. And lastly, once the performance is over, please exit the auditorium and leave the building. Your musician will meet you in the auditorium lobby or outside.
At this time, we would like to welcome Ms. Lisa Montalbano, who's our Booster Club president, so she can share a few words.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Montalbano, and I am the Klein-Cain Orchestra Booster Club president. First of all, welcome. We're glad to see you here. And with this crazy, challenging year that we've had, this program has plowed forward, and we've plowed forward as a booster with them to support everything they've tried to do this year. So the needs looked a little different this year, but we've been able to provide all of them. We'd like to share a few things with you this year about what's been going on this year. One of the things we're still very pleased to be able to offer is scholarships to 2 of our seniors. We have one $1,000 scholarship to the student who is continuing their education in a music field, and a second $500 scholarship to a student who is continuing their education not necessarily in a music field. That application is available and has been posted on the newsletter and is due April the 30th. The next thing we have is our senior bassist is graduating this year, and his mother, Lucy Sanfilippo, will clearly be leaving with him. So we will have vice president vacancy on the board next year. And then finally, just to sum up some of our fundraising efforts this year, when we delivered our July 4th and our Labor Day flags, we filled our obligation to the flag fundraiser. Our second continuing fundraiser, we've got some merchandise available for you outside, and that is also continually available on the website. And then our third and final fundraiser for the year is our upcoming silent auction, which again this year will be online, opening April the 25th, closing May the 1st. And this particular fundraiser is only as good as the donations we get. So although the board does most of the soliciting for the items that we'll have to offer, we'd like to tap into your connections if we may. If you own a business or know someone who owns a business who has a product or service to offer, if you would consider donating an item, we'd appreciate it. If you own a business or know someone who owns a business who doesn't necessarily have a product or service to offer, but you'd like to help, gift cards are always welcome for food, entertainment, services of any kind. And you are totally limited to your creativity and connections. And we totally appreciate your consideration. So with that in mind, we appreciate your continued support of Booster and this program. And so glad to have you here this evening. Enjoy the performance.
Thank you so much, Ms. Montalbano, and to all of our Booster board members. We couldn't do this year, especially without them. If you are ever interested in lending us a hand, we would love your support. You are welcome to check out our orchestra website. There's a Booster Club page. Contact them. We need all the help we can get, even this year. So at this time, I think it's time to hear everything that we have been working towards for the past few weeks. We're gonna hit the lights in just a second. Are you all excited to hear them tonight? Are you excited to play tonight? Okay, well, without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage the concertmaster of the concert orchestra, Miss Kaylin Sander. Before we play our final selection with this group for you tonight, I just want to take a minute and tell you how amazing your children are. This year has been difficult, being a teacher, being a student, being a person, really. And I have to say that seeing these students every day really helps. They help make it better. They show up with such enthusiasm. They always want to learn. They always want to get better. And they care so much about sharing this music with you. That really helps me on the days when I am having a hard time. So thank you so much for sharing your children with us, and thank you for supporting their music education. We hope you enjoy our final selection, which is called Sahara Crossing. the end of our concert orchestra performance. You may have a seat. At this time, we are going to have some pictures taken of our students. We have one of our amazing orchestra moms who is a photographer who's helping us with that. So we're going to turn the house light. I'm not sure how she wants to do the lighting, so I'll talk to her in a second. But you are welcome to exit the auditorium. Give us about 10 to 15 minutes. They'll meet you over there after we get their photos and they sanitize everything. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope to see you again at our next event. And thank you for keeping it safe so that we can continue to have these events. Good evening, my name is Sundos Mohitrong and I'm the Director of Orchestras here at Klein Cain High School.
And I'm Katie Lindler, and I'm the Assistant Orchestra Director here. We are so excited to welcome you to our first in-person concert, and we also have students joining us from home on Zoom. A couple of things before we get started. Just per Klein ISD policy, masks are required in all campuses. We are recording the performance today, and it's being live streamed, so at this time, please silence your cell phones to minimize distractions. And then at the end of the performance, please exit towards the back of the auditorium and your musician will meet you either in the lobby or outside.
At this time, we would like to welcome our Klein Cain Orchestra Booster Club President, Ms. Lisa Montalbano, so she can share a few words.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Montalbano, and I am your Klein Cain Orchestra Booster Club President. This has been a crazy, strange year, but in all the challenges, this program has plowed on, and as Booster, we've plowed on right along with them. The needs look different this year, but we have been able to provide all of them. We are pleased to say, and we'd like to share a few things with you this evening. First of all, we're also very pleased that we can still offer our 2 senior scholarships to our graduating seniors this year. One is a $1,000 scholarship for a student continuing their education in the music field. A second $500 scholarship to a senior graduating, continuing their education, not necessarily in the music field. That application has been posted on the newsletter, and it is due the end of April 30th. Next, we have our senior bassist is graduating this year. So Lucy Sanfilippo, his mother is our vice president, and needless to say, will be leaving with him. We will have a vacancy for the vice presidency next year. And finally, just to summarize our fundraising efforts this year, when we delivered our 4th of July and Labor Day flags, we satisfied that flag fundraising obligation. We have some merchandise outside as our second and ongoing fundraiser for this year. It's also available online. And our third and final fundraiser for the year is our upcoming silent auction, which again will be online this year, opening April the 25th, closing May the 1st. This particular fundraiser is only as good as the donations we receive, and although the board will solicit most of the items that we will have to offer for you, we'd like to tap into your connections, if we may. If you own a business or know someone who owns a business that has a product or service and you would like to donate an item, we'd appreciate it. Or if you own a business or know someone who owns a business who doesn't necessarily have a product or service to offer, but you'd like to help, gift cards are always welcome for food, entertainment, and services. Always welcome. So we would appreciate your consideration. You can find Booster organization on a tab on the orchestra website. We thank you so much for coming this evening, and thank you for your continued support of Booster Club. Enjoy the performance.
Thank you so much, Ms. Montalbano, and all of our Booster board members and members. We cannot do this without you, especially this year. We need so much support. So if you are the type of parent who is interested in volunteering, we would love your help. Please reach out to our Booster president via our orchestra website. There are so many ways you can help us, and we love any help that we can get. Before we begin the program, I want to share a couple of things that are a little bit unusual. Unusual in a good way. Our first work is a concerto. It's a concerto for 2 cellos and orchestra by Antonio Vivaldi. So a few things you'll notice. This group has pulled this together in such a way that they are able to perform it as a true chamber ensemble without conductor. That's something that's really impressive anytime. But I have to tell you, like, most of these students are online. They only come in person for our rehearsals, which is fine, but I've been so impressed by how well they have pulled this together. So that's very impressive, just something of note. Another thing that's a little bit unusual about the way that we are doing this, it is concerto for two cello soloists. Well, we have a really strong and talented cello section, so we wanted to feature 4 of our cellists. We are presenting 2 movements tonight, and those 2 movements will be first. Traditional practice would indicate that we would not want you to clap in between movements. However, since we are featuring 2 different sets of soloists, we do want you to clap for our soloists in between movements. They'll stand up. Please give them your most gracious applause. They have worked so hard and they sound really great. So just something of note. And I think we're just about ready for the lights. Now I would like to introduce the concertmaster of the chamber orchestra, Tom Leischner. present our next two works, I did just want to share a few things with you. First of all, this program that you're hearing tonight, all three of these works, we are performing them again at UIL Evaluation, which is on March 31st, the Wednesday of that week. It'll be at Klein Oak High School, and I think the performance time is like 4 o'clock p.m. I have confirmed that they are open for audience members, but the director at that school is still working on getting all the guidelines for how you will have your seats and stuff like that. It's a little bit different on every campus, so I will send that out as soon as I have that. It's nice because a lot of times these performances are in the morning or in the middle of your workday, but this might be near the end. You may actually be able to see them perform, so we would love to have you out there hear us one more time on this music. And finally, I do have to say a few nice things about them. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your children with us. This year is difficult for everybody. It's difficult to be a student, it's difficult to be a teacher, it's difficult to be a person, really. And I just have to tell you that these kids, like, every day, whether they're logging in on Zoom or they're coming in person, they're ready to work, they're so enthusiastic, they want the music to sound the best that it can. I'm so impressed and still getting to know them. They keep going beyond every limit that I think that I have for them, and they keep just showing me that they just love music so much and they're willing to do whatever it takes despite the circumstances. And that kind of dedication really just pulls me personally through the difficult times this year. So I thank you so much for sharing them with me, and I hope that you enjoy our next final two pieces that we have for you. Thank you again so much for joining us this evening. I'm just so happy that we were able to do this, that we were able to have live music, and that we were able to do this despite all of the circumstances, and that they sounded great. I'm really excited for all of us that we're going to do. At this time, we are going to take some pictures of the group. So you are welcome to exit the auditorium, your musician, once they have packed up, had their photo shoot, and sanitized everything. They will meet you in the lobby or outside. Thank you again so much for joining us, and have a nice evening.